Capital One as the first round presented by Intuit TurboTax continues from the Xfinity Center in College Park, Maryland, where it is an awesome atmosphere for the home team Terps. Maryland, the number 4 seed, taking on the MEAC champs, 13-seeded Norfolk State Spartans. Earlier today here in College Park, 5-seeded Alabama behind an inspired performance. Aaliyah Nye's 23 points, sending the Crimson Tide safely into for this Maryland team.
Well, I asked the coach about this young lady, and they gave her name, the name, the conductor, and that would be Cheyenne Sellers, because she facilitates everything for this team. The ball will be in her hands a majority of the time, Jay, mostly because she can score. She can go inside, she can go outside. She will give her team whatever they need. She is always a threat for a triple-double anytime she steps on the floor.
They are going to need Sellers to be at her best. Was banged up in the Big Ten tournament, but this is more than 2 weeks later. 3-time All-Big Ten first-team player. And for Norfolk State, Diamond Johnson, former 5-star recruit, MEAC Player of the Year.
Yeah, MEAC Player of the Year. She can score in so many ways, and they need for her to be aggressive. She is quick off the dribble. She can drive and score in transition, and she can also shoot the three. So when her game is on from the outside and from scoring, and when she's aggressive, that is always a positive for Norfolk State.
Well, Diamond Johnson led the Spartans to their first 30-win season in program history. Only 4 losses. Trying to shock the college basketball world and knock off Maryland here at College Park. It would be Norfolk State's first ever NCAA tournament victory. And the Spartans in green and black. There's their head coach, Larry Vickers. Maryland in the home white. As a Super Saturday of the NCAA tournament first round continues here in College Park. And it's Maryland that starts with the basketball. The Terps 15 days removed from an early exit in the Big Ten tournament. Cheyenne Sellers not 100% during that loss. She starts for this Terps team 0 in white. Stolen away. Norfolk State dialed in defensively to start this one. And they cash in for 2. Getting our starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. And Norfolk State setting the tone in this one. They have come out shot out of a cannon.
Maryland really needs to take care of the basketball. That was one of the things that Coach Brenda Fries struck today in terms of
Johnson
getting off to a good start.
5-0 start for the 13-seeded Spartans. You take a look at the Maryland starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Sellers pokes it away on the defensive end. Maybe the Terps can get something in transition. That rims out no good for Kubek. Johnson from the same spot drives this time. Swatted away at the rim. Christina Dulcie got all of it.
Dulcie, an inside presence for Maryland. Just waited on it and timed it.
Now Norfolk State has come out with confidence though. This is their 3rd straight NCAA tournament trip. First time as a 16 seed, last year a 15 seed, now a 13 seed. Highest seed for a MEAC champ since 2014. Still eyeing the program's elusive first NCAA tournament win. It will not come easy against this Maryland team.
So Norfolk State is going to have to deal with the size on the perimeter of Maryland. going to have to do a lot of pass fakes and have patience with their offense. They want to try to shrink this game and slow it down and try to have, almost like in football, most time of possession.
Richardson, pull-up pop, missed it. Maryland 2 turnovers and 2 misses on their opening few possessions. Struggling to cash in. Another good look. That's off the mark from Schmeichel. Norfolk State playing fearless. A 7-0 start for the 13-seeded Spartans.
Well, big game for Richardson, the sophomore. Her coach Vickers told me that she's the future of this program, and she's done a great job running the offense and shooting. And finally, an opportunity for Maryland to score.
Allie Kubek opens the scoring for the Terps. Norfolk State head coach Larry Vickers said, in the 4 losses, the one common denominator is we started slowly. They are off to a terrific start so far at College Park. Can they keep it going?
And this is important. Wheeler got her first foul, and we'll see if that has an impact later on because they need her on the floor.
Maryland has been a March staple under Brenda Free's 14th straight appearance to the NCAA tournament. 21 trips in 23 years. They started the season 14-0, then came some injuries, Big Ten play. Just 9-7 in their final 16 games. Kubek weaving through traffic, draws the foul, and will get 2 at the line.
Cheyenne Sellers joked in the press conference that the NCAA and Coach Freeze are like salt on a pretzel. It took everybody a minute in the press conference to kind of digest that.
It's true. 14 straight years Brenda Freeze has led this program to the NCAA tournament. It's become the expectation that they're playing basketball in March here at College Park. Of course, winning it in 2006.
Well, kids know when they come here, they're going to have an opportunity to compete for a national championship and get drafted in the WNBA. So she is always going to be able to get great players.
Offensive rebound. Dulcie draws the whistle. And what's remarkable about that stretch, as we just showed it, 18 of the last 19 opening round games Maryland has won. And that's what makes it such a difficult task for Norfolk State, a program that's never advanced in the NCAA tournament. But this is the best team that Larry Vickers has had in his 10 seasons as head coach of the Spartans.
Well, his thing is he wants to improve every year. And obviously for them now, the NCAA tournament is an expectation for their program. So they're not going to just be happy to be here. They want to compete. They want to win.
They're struggling with Maryland's size. Can't keep them off the glass. Schmeichel spilled it, though. And they'll give the ball back to Norfolk State. Here's Diamond Johnson. Couldn't connect there. Second turnover for Norfolk State.
If they're going to shrink the game and keep the possessions, they're going to have to make sure that they convert on those possessions.
Norfolk State head coach Larry Vickers saying we have to limit the turnovers. He plays 3 point guards in his starting lineup, so that should help with the ball handling. Good defense inside. Dowsey spins her way free, can't finish it. It'll stay Maryland basketball underneath their own hoop.
Yeah, good job stopping the baseline there, and then the nice block by Wheeler.
Sellers gets it into Dulcie. Sarah Tidiasu, the transfer from VCU, pull up pop. Does not drop.
She's been a great addition to Maryland because it's allowed them to play Sellers on the wing and set up things for them. And she's started to score more since they've had so many injuries at the beginning of the year for Maryland.
Most notably, Bree McDaniel, who went down on January 14th. That was after Maryland's terrific 14-0 start to this season, including a win over Duke. They were up as high as number 7 in the polls. Then the injuries came, and really they battled through those injuries really until the last 2 weeks since the Big Ten tournament. Finally, some time to rest and reset. Diamond Johnson knocks down another 3. 6-point lead for Norfolk State early.
Norfolk State, if they can hit threes, they're going to have a great opportunity to win this game.
Dulcie inside. That's where Maryland has the advantage. The size on the block.
Yeah, Dulcie just really improved offensively throughout the course of this season.
Clark at 3. Can't connect. Offensive rebound, Johnson. Just 5'5", but she plays a lot bigger than that. Can't cash in on the second chance effort.
It's going to be a nice little game within the game with Diamond Johnson playing against Tibiatsu.
2 talented guards playing their best basketball of the season right now. Dulcie again. Back-to-back baskets for the Villanova transfer.
Well, she has encouraged since she's come to Maryland to be more offensive-minded. You're seeing the result of here in the first 5 minutes of this game.
A quick 3 finds nothing but air. Larry Vickers, the head coach of Norfolk State, doesn't like that shot selection, but he likes this start. 2-point lead for the Spartans. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And the first round is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. A good start for the MEAC champions, Norfolk State Spartans. A 10-8 lead midway through this opening quarter. Let's check out how they are fueling the run. Brought to you by Wendy's. Larry Vickers' team, MEAC champs for a 3rd straight season. 30 wins, most in D1 history since joining in 97-98. And what's so impressive about Larry Vickers and this group is they had a very challenging schedule. He joked yesterday, I would have been happy at 19-12 as long as we made it to the NCAA tournament. To do it at 30-4, 2 wins against Power 4 teams, remarkable season. Yeah,
and I asked him, I said, how do you do the scheduling with the Power 4? He said he was really smart. I spread it out to make sure we're not getting a lot of losses in a row, but they're not afraid. They're 2-2 against Power 4 teams.
They're playing like it, confident. The steal and the score. Anjanae Richardson, the sophomore.
And that was one of the things that Coach Brendan Freese talked about, is they cannot give in to the chaos that Norfolk State can, that they create with their defense.
Hoffenbarger off the bench. Finds Dulcie, who they've been playing for a lot of this first quarter. Comes up empty that time.
I think Hoffenbarger is going to be really key to Maryland's success in this tournament. She's got to play well. She's a mismatch for other teams depending on who's guarding her, so she's going to have to come up big for them.
Another Terp who's banged up in the Big Ten tournament. Brendan Freese saying this is the healthiest the team has been since the beginning of the season. Johnson misfires from deep. Hoffenbarger with it here. Now, if this is a healthy Hoffenbarger and Sellers, that is a big boost for this Terps team. Michael trying to dig it out. Good defense by Norfolk State. The Spartans have 7 points off 3 Maryland turnovers. They're setting the tone defensively.
Oh my goodness, that was a great cut.
Johnson just lost her footing. Would have been an easy layup. Maryland a slow start offensively as Cheyenne Sellers, the 3-time All Big Ten first teamer, checks back into the game for Brendan Freese. How does Maryland get this offense going?
I think they have to take advantage of the height they have with their guards. Now you have Poffenbarger in there, who is a guard and a post depending on who they play. There's the advantage there. Sellers has the advantage with her height. Try to use those guards and take advantage of that height.
Tibiasu fires a three and buries it. Sarah Tibiasu, nothing but the bottom of the net.
She is not afraid to take the big shot. We'll see that later on today. But her offense has really come along since the Oregon game, where she had 27 points and had a conversation with Coach Freeze that she needed to be more aggressive offensively, and she certainly has listened to that.
Johnson, cross-court pass. Finds Clark, who draws the foul.
Tibiasu has been a big part of the offense for Maryland. If you have your hands down, she is not afraid to let it fly.
Her 55th made three of the season. Shoots it 42% from beyond the arc.
I think she's made a great transition to the Power 4 level. She had a little bit of issue with the size and the speed, but she worked that out. Ever since January, February, she's been playing really well. She's figured out how to navigate that.
Debria Clark 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Maryland with an opportunity to take their first lead of the game. After Norfolk State started on a 7-0 run. Poffenbarger chases it down, finds Tibiasu. And now Sellers. Shot clock down to 5. Cheyenne Sellers tried to squeeze it to Poffenbarger. Norfolk State, they are reading the passing lanes really well.
Yeah, just aggressive, and you've got to make them pay for that if you're Maryland.
Not much time here on the shot clock, just 3 seconds. What can you get here if you're the Terps?
I'll try to go right in, right away, right inside.
Now they do that. Kubek can't control it, and that's another turnover. 5 turnovers in this first quarter for Maryland. And credit Norfolk State defensively. They have come out aggressive with a game plan, and it is working against the 4-seeded Maryland Terps.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Vickers, and I said to him, I know you think you can win. You're trying to act and be all humble, but I know you think your team can win. And he just had the cheapest smile.
Here's Wheeler. Can't knock it down. Poffenbarger chases down the rebound. And here's Cheyenne Sellers. Yet to get going in this opening quarter. No points for Sellers so far. Kubek spins her way free. Allie Kubek, she's been the bright spark offensively. 5 points, and that gives Maryland their first lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, she's mobile with great footwork. Been a great spark for them offensively.
Maryland has erased Norfolk State's 7-point lead, but it's still tight. Wheeler. Wave off the basket. Offensive foul before the score. And that's Wheeler's second foul.
Yeah, and that's tough for Norfolk State because they need her inside. I was just about to say one of her strengths is from the perimeter, where she would not have a post player that would come out there and play her, but she hasn't been able to get to that spot, and now she has 2 fouls and has to sit down. So where does the other offense aside from Diamond Johnson come from?
And Norfolk State very thin on the front court. That was halfway down but did not drop. Richardson playing with pace. And now Nia Fields settles things down.
You've got shooters out there with Fields and Richardson and Johnson. It's the question of, can they get open?
Pull up pop. Johnson trying to follow her own miss. McLean wins it. Open three. Kubek. Got it! Allie Kubek. She's got 7 points. In this first quarter, they've counted as a 2. I thought she was behind the line there.
Yeah, we'll see here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she was
clearly.
definitely behind the line. So I'm not really sure what they are
Well, they make
reviewing.
the adjustment. 8 points for Kubek in this first quarter. She scored half of Maryland's points. And they call a hold on Diamond Johnson. So count the 3, and more free throws coming for Maryland. What a swing of momentum at the end of this first quarter. The Kubek 3, and now Mir McLean at the line, shooting 2.
Mir McLean in there because she's a great defender and does all the small things, not necessarily an offensive player for them, but you see there her trying to box out and Johnson grabbing her arm. Keep an eye on that as well because she does not need to get into foul trouble.
That is
on the floor.
5-point possession for Maryland right at the end of this first quarter. Johnson draws a foul on the floor.
She's so quick off the dribble. You've got to get in front of her when she catches that basketball. She's going to rip it through and go.
Seconds at the end of this quarter. Diamond Johnson, MEAC Player of the Year, trying to get free. The floater does not go. And Maryland closes the first quarter on a 14-2 run. They've scored the last 10 points, and the Terps lead by 6 as we head to the second quarter. Hard to believe that was almost 20 years ago. Brenda Freese, national champions in 2006, led by Christy Tolliver, of course. And Brenda Freese now in her 23rd season as the head coach of Maryland, her 21st trip to the NCAA tournament. Her team fell down 7-0 to start this game, but roared at the end of the first quarter, a 14-2 run as Norfolk State starts the scoring in this second quarter.
Nice job, set play by Coach Vickers to get the back door against the pressure of Maryland.
And Maryland a 4-point lead, but they have their top 2 scorers on the season. Schmeichel and Sellers scoreless so far. They have a strong supporting cast though. Iwara can't connect. That's really the strength of this Maryland team, the balance. They don't just count on one player. Competitive depth. McLean knocks it down, making it look easy.
She's in there for her defense, so anytime you get points from her, it's definitely a plus. She's guarding Diamond Johnson now, so putting more length on Johnson.
Johnson has 8. Number 3 in black has it here. Quick first step, passes it off, a 3. No good, offensive rebound, Johnson. Another kick out. Diawara misfires, 2 good looks. Just come up empty. DiBiase fires. Hat rattled around, but did not drop.
Well, one of the things that Coach Vickers talked about was making sure to get out on the shooters, but not just to get out on them, is to have your hands up. So in that case, the defender did not have her hands up. They've got to do a better job of that.
Johnson buries the 3 and cuts the Maryland lead in half. Johnson's got 11 of the Spartans' 17. Dowsey dispossessed. Battle for the ball. Won by Maryland in a foul call.
Yeah, no communication there. Mir McLean not able to get out soon enough on Diamond Johnson. She doesn't need a whole lot of room or a whole lot of time to get that shot off.
She was a 5-star recruit coming out of Philadelphia, played in Newman Goretti. Originally went to Rutgers, then spent time at NC State, now at Norfolk State, playing her best basketball of her career. Good defense, ripped away. And
Maryland just needs to have more patience. They're just trying to force things, and Norfolk State just doing a great job of being in position, being in passing lanes.
Norfolk State shooting 3 of 8 from deep. Johnson's got all 3 of them. Has it here. Pulls up. Can't hit it that time. Tibiasu dangerous in transition.
Norfolk State's so quick on the perimeter in those passing lanes.
Michael finds Sellers. Good ball movement. Michael couldn't grab it. Stays Maryland basketball with 5 seconds on the shot clock here. Nothing coming easy against this Norfolk State defense. They're making Maryland earn every bucket.
And Maryland, they had a lot of respect for them, talking about what a good team they were and how they knew that they were not going to be afraid to come in here and play them. They were going to give them their best shot. And you see there.
Stolen away right on cue. It's Diamond Johnson again. It's good. Shine bright like a diamond. Johnson's got 13. The 13-seeded Spartans giving Maryland everything they can handle here in College Park.
And they've out-toughed them so far here in this first few minutes.
Sellers still scoreless. To the corner, Tibiasu. 3 seconds to shoot. Kubek has to hurry. Hoists it up. And that's a shot clock violation.
Give Norfolk State credit for the tough defense, not allowing Maryland to go where they want to go.
Maryland in a scoring drought of 2 minutes and 52 seconds. They have 3 turnovers during that stretch, 8 turnovers on the game.
And they're just trying to force it in. There's no room in there. There are too many black jerseys in there. They have to be more patient.
Good ball movement, finds Wheeler, back in the game with 2 fouls. Spins her way free, cashes in for 2, and fires Norfolk State back in front.
I like that kid. She's so nimble around the rim with the basketball from the perimeter. That's why they need her in there.
Maryland turns it over again. 9 turnovers for Maryland, and Norfolk State a 1-point lead.
And Wheeler catches it. She really knows how to operate from the perimeter. A little hook there, just a small one, but able to get to the basket.
The Spartans on a 7-0 run. They have grabbed momentum in this second quarter. This was a 1-point game right at the end of the first quarter. Then Maryland had a 5-point possession, a made 3 and then 2 foul shots. And Norfolk State has responded. Wheeler can't connect. Here's Schmeichel, still trying to get going.
See, that's a mismatch. They need to get Schmeichel inside right now because he has Johnson on her.
Kayleen Schmeichel and Cheyenne Sellers, who average more than 30 points per game combined, are both still scoreless in this first half.
I think Sellers is still laboring on that leg. I know she's able to play, but I still think she's struggling a little bit, especially with her lateral movement.
Hoffenbarger, cross-court pass, finds Sellers. Pull-up pop. And it drops in. The iron kind, and Maryland back in front. Sellers' first basket of the game. Midway through the second quarter, back and forth we go. Stolen away, Tibiasu. Johnson getting back, transition defense to poke it away. Back and forth we go, a fun one, Regional 2 Birmingham, 1-point game. Four-seeded Maryland, there's their head coach, Larry Vickers, who has been on a unique basketball journey. He never played organized basketball in high school. He was playing pickup at the rec hall as a student at Norfolk State when Spartans head coach at the time, Dwight Freeman, spotted him, convinced him to walk on. Vickers fell in love with the game thanks to Dwight Freeman and his former head coach in the building this afternoon, rooting on the Spartans. And Vickers absolutely fell in love with basketball. He joined the Norfolk State coaching staff on the men's side after playing, was part of the upset against 2-seeded Missouri in 2012, and then during the 2016 season, the women's coach stepped aside. He fills in as the interim for what he thought would just be 11 games, and here he is 10 years later, still the head coach of Norfolk State.
How about Coach Freeman told us when he asked him the first time, he told him no. He said, I don't want you to take up all my time.
And his team is believing that they can win this game. Back in front on an and-one opportunity.
Well, they have done a great job, just I think being the tougher team here. Half their points have come from turnovers, from 9 turnovers from Maryland. And they've just had a tremendous half here.
McCoy Diawara cashes in on the and-one. Norfolk State up by 2.
So they've gone to their zone now. So how will Maryland attack it? That free throw line area is open. Nice cut.
Good recovery, though. Debria Clark stole it away, and the turnovers continue to pile up for Maryland. 10 first-half turnovers for the 4-seeded Terps. Good ball movement. An open 3. No good from Fields.
They missed a shot, but they worked on that in shooting practice this morning. Ran into perfection. Just didn't finish it off with a made shot.
They are running good stuff in this first half. A 2-point lead against 4-seeded Maryland.
This zone is keeping Maryland on the perimeter.
Hoffenbarger dumps it down. Kubek ties it at 24. And she's got 10 in this first half to lead the Terps.
An unexpected boost offensively from Maryland. Kid's got a great story. Tore her knee coming out of high school. Tore her knee when she first got to Maryland. Just really worked hard to get back to where she is.
From the same spot. This time it's good. Debria Clark. A huge 3.
So we have not seen anything really from Schmeichel.
Sellers thought it was a foul. Instead, play on. Clark from the opposite corner. Can't connect that time. But Norfolk State playing with confidence. Fearless. And a travel. Making 11 turnovers in this first half for Maryland.
So Mir McLean comes back in for defense for Maryland. They've got to find a way to get Schmeichel involved here on offense.
Still scoreless, 0 for 4 from the floor for the Terps' leading scorer. Richardson trying to hand it off to Diawara, couldn't connect. Coming up at halftime, Degree in the studio. Catch you up on what has been a busy first round Saturday. UConn's dominance. It'll give you all the scores and highlights from games across the country. We've got a phenomenal one here. 13-seeded Norfolk State, a 3-point lead. It's going to happen. Norfolk State, 13-seeded Spartans, giving Maryland a handful in this first half. A 3-point lead with 2:25 to play in this second quarter.
Well, they have 14 points in the paint, 11 points off, 11 turnovers for Maryland. They've just, again, been the tougher team. They've been in the passing lanes. They've made it tough for the Maryland players to score inside. Just done a terrific job.
Norfolk State this season, 30-4 first 30-win season in program history. And they are 25-0 when leading at halftime. Well, they are 2 minutes and 25 seconds away from taking a lead into the break. And really, it's their defense, Helen. 11 turnovers forced in this first half. Maryland has only made 9 shots to go against those 11 turnovers.
Yeah, and Smichael has 5 of those turnovers, so she has not had a very good first half. They're going to have to find a way to get her manufacture some points.
Diamond Johnson has led the way for Norfolk State. She's got 13 of the Spartans' 27. Norfolk State started this game 7-0. Then Maryland roared back at the end of the first quarter, led by as many as 6. And now it's the Terps with the basketball, trailing by 3. What does Brenda Freeze draw up coming out of the timeout?
Well, they got to attack the middle of that zone because Norfolk State wants to keep them on the perimeter.
Maryland continuing to dominate on the glass. Kubek has been the bright spot in this first half for Maryland. 10 points to go along with 4 rebounds.
She's the only one in double figures for Maryland.
Inbounded off the back. Let's see if it can cash in for some points. No, another turnover. That's 12 turnovers in this first half for Maryland.
Yeah, that to me is lack of focus. I mean, the rest of it has been good defense and offense by Norfolk State, but that last turnover for Maryland was lack of focus.
5-point lead for the 13th-seeded Spartans.
You see how they've got them spread out, this offense. That's where you attack in the middle, and then you go to work there. Nice cut.
Count it, plus the foul. Kayleen Smichael, her first basket of the game, and she can turn it into an and one.
Yeah, good execution. That free throw line area is going to be open. You get it. You cut back door. Diamond Johnson fell asleep there.
That ends a 2-minute scoring drought for Maryland, and for their leading scorer, Kayleen Smichael, converts the 3-point play. That'll do wonders for her confidence. Johnson at 3. It's good. Diamond Johnson delivers again.
You said at the beginning of the broadcast, when she's aggressive, it's good for Norfolk State.
She's got 16 points for the Spartans. Tibiasu answers. Sarah Tibiasu buries one of her own.
She is a confident shooter. Takes good shots, but a very confident shooter.
Back and forth we go. Under 40 seconds to play in this first half. And what an entertaining first half it's been.
And if you're Norfolk State, you've got this lead without one of your better players playing the majority of the first half, and that's Wheeler. So she'll be fresh coming out in the second half.
A program that's making their 3rd straight NCAA tournament appearance. A 16 seed 2 years ago, 15 seed a year ago, now as a 13 seed. Highest and best seed for a MEAC team since 2014. They have been phenomenal. Johnson's led the way. Couldn't connect there.
Maryland fortunate on that, just not getting out on Johnson. I mean, she's a primary assignment. You've got to get out there on her.
This will likely be the final possession of the first half. Maryland trailing by 2. DiBiase lets it tick under 10. Finds Sellers to the corner with Schmeichel. Sellers lines it up. Can't connect. It'll stay Maryland's ball. 0.7 seconds on the first half clock.
Got to throw it up here.
Looking for a tip in. McLean comes up empty. And Norfolk State, the 13th seed, on the back of Diamond Johnson, 16 points, takes the lead into halftime. We could have an upset brewing here in College Park. Let's get you to the studio. Degree in the studio with Elle Duncan.
Welcome to Degree in the Studio.
It's me, Elle, and I've got my former Lady Vol and Andrea Carter and our Stanford Hall of Famer and Shanae Agumake. And we're seeing a Norfolk State team that's trying to win their first tournament game ever. And if they're going to do that, they need to remember diamonds are a Spartan's best friend.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. And they're also a girl's best friend, right?
Fair.
But if you think about Norfolk State, you have to salute them. This is the best team of an HBCU program in the last 10 years. And I was going to say Diamond Johnson is the jewel of Norfolk State.
Nice,
I was going to and also, she's a straight-up baller.
And a bucket. Yeah.
And she's a bucket.
And also a bucket.
And she's a baller. 16 points, knocking down 4 threes. I know that there were a couple of pit stops along the way. We're talking about Rutgers. We're talking about NC State. But she is right at home. The MEAC Player of the Year, averages 19 points per game. She's almost at her season average at the half. And if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be on her shoulders.
Diamond Johnson is an absolute bucket. I mean, this is a player that could put up 25 points, 23 points. Averages 19. You already said that, but she's so confident with the ball in her hands. For me, I like Norfolk State. One, they're creating turnovers. If you're on the Maryland side in the second half, Maryland has to take care of the basketball. And Maryland's 2 leading scorers have to get going. So Norfolk State, defensively, they're getting it done. And offensively, I like their spacing. They're getting some in the pick and roll game. They're able to find each other, get the ball moving. The ball pops. They've knocked down 5 threes. So Norfolk State coming in with a ton of confidence right now on both ends.
Yeah, and if you're the Terps, you know, Brenda Fries, 19-1 in the Brenda Fries area in tournament openers. In fact, the only time that they lost the opener was just last year. What are you telling your team right now in order to avoid another upset?
2-point game and 2 of your leading scorers are not having great games. But more importantly, like you said, take care of the ball. 12 turnovers, uncharacteristic.
But you're looking right at Kayleen Schmeichel and Cheyenne Sellers. I mean, those are 2 players that combine on average for 32 points a game. They've combined for 5 points in that first half. So those 2 are going to lead the way for Maryland. But like you said, Maryland's playing pretty poorly right now, and it's a 2-point game. So you're just telling them to get back to themselves.
All right, we'll see. We've got second half action on the way, and we'll show you some highlights and preview a big game history in terms of points.
In the Studio is presented by New Whole Body.
Chip presented by Capital One. You're watching the first round presented by Intuit TurboTax. Well, they call it March Madness for a reason, and we have some madness in College Park. 13-seeded Norfolk State, a 2-point halftime lead against the 4-seeded Maryland Terps. Helen Williams, Jay Alter with you, and this is what it's all about, right? 13-seeded Norfolk State doing everything they can, a 2-point lead headed into the second half. What's working for the Spartans right now?
Well, the first thing, it was just the chaos that they created defensively, and one of the keys for Brenda Fries was to take care of the basketball and to value every possession, and Maryland didn't do that in the first half.
And on the offensive end, Diamond Johnson, 16 points for the MEAC Player of the Year.
Well, I talked about them needing the aggressive Diamond if they're going to be successful, and she came out and she hit a lot of shots, and I'm not going to lie, you took me off guard with the Rihanna reference, saying fight like a diamond, but you were on point there. I mean, she just did a phenomenal job, and they tried a couple of defenders on her, but it still hasn't worked. So, you know, for Maryland, I think they've got to attack that zone in the middle at the free throw line, and they've got to value the basketball more than they did in that first half.
We just showed you Game Track, brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Norfolk State trying to be the first 13 seed to advance in this tournament since Wright State did it 4 years ago. It would be the program's first ever win in the tournament, but Maryland not going to go away quietly. The Terps on the first shot of this second half back in front by 1.
And they did a great job. Norfolk State just made a little adjustment there. They played that free throw line open, and that's why you have that wide open shot on the 3-point line.
Wheeler lost the handle. It'll stay Spartans ball. Kiera Wheeler sat for most of that second quarter with 2 fouls. Interestingly, Diamond Johnson stayed on the floor for that second quarter, playing with 3 fouls. But if Johnson picks up her 4th, that is trouble for Norfolk. Has it here. The blow by. Kick out. Richardson. Can't connect.
So Maryland comes out with their own adjustment, a really high hedge to slow Diamond Johnson down, eat up some of that clock, and there's no one available for her.
The Norfolk State 25-0 when they have a halftime lead, which they did by 2. The lead now belongs to Maryland. Tibiasu got it again. Sarah Tibiasu, back-to-back threes to start this second half.
Well, she certainly took to heart the conversation she had with Coach Freeze about being more offensive-minded for Maryland.
This will stay Norfolk State basketball underneath their own hoop.
Well, Norfolk State made a little bit of adjustment now. They're going to play that free throw line a little bit closer, and so if you don't get out on that three-point shot on the kick out, they're going to be available.
Tibiasu, 4 made threes. That one gives Maryland a 4-point lead. Make it a 1-point lead. Nia Fields.
Great placement on that pass.
Now, off the basket, they said the foul was on the floor. How about that one? A count for 2. Cheyenne Sellers, the inbound off the back. Count it, plus the foul. Sellers getting creative on the and one opportunity.
Yeah, and again, I talked to you off camera about using their height as an advantage there. And the guards just caught them off guard, not paying attention. A little bit of life in Maryland. You can see their body language is a little bit different than when they went in at halftime. They're a little bit more animated.
That is the second time today Sellers has done that inbound off the defender's back. That one she cashes in for a 3-point play. That could be a shot in the arm for Maryland. After they waved off the Dulcie bucket, Sellers gets an and one of her own, and the Terps are back up by 4.
Nice backdoor.
Johnson couldn't find the finish. Follows her own miss. Second chance opportunity. Richardson through traffic. And one of her own.
How about that? She's going to flex those little muscles of hers. She is a player that I think is going to be great for Norfolk State in the future. She does a really good job of pump faking without traveling on her three-point shots when people run out to her. And she's built slight, but she's not weak.
Richardson cashes in. 3-point play. 1-point game. Back and forth we go. This is a heavyweight fight in the first round. 4-seeded Terps getting tested. Kubek weaving through. Got it!
I think people don't give her enough credit for being as nimble and athletic as she is from the perimeter with the basketball. You saw a perfect example of it there.
12 points today for the Towson transfer. Maryland back up by 3. Fields fires, rolls around, did not drop. That would have tied this game at 41. Instead, Maryland still up by 3. Dowsey swarmed, finds Schmeichel, can't knock it down. Good look. Usually, Kayleen Schmeichel will make you pay from there.
Maryland not crashing the offensive boards like they did in that first half.
Here's Diamond Johnson, has 16 points. MEAC Player of the Year trying to shake free. Finds Wheeler, spins in, can't score it.
Well, that would have got the crowd going.
Sellers lines up the three and is fouled. A late closeout will send Cheyenne Sellers to the line to shoot 3 free throws. Sellers only 5 points to her name. 3-time All-Big Ten first-teamer. For the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is right here on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Well, today, the final day of the first round of the Women's Championship. Second round begins tomorrow with Duke and Oregon. Noon right here on ESPN.
Well, Oregon squeaked by in that overtime game against Vanderbilt.
Sellers knocks down all 3 of them. Balloons this lead to 6 for Maryland. Ties the largest lead of the game for the Terps.
Where do you go if you're Norfolk State here for offense? It's got to be either Diamond Johnson or Wheeler.
Johnson has it here. Shot clock ticks down to 6. And now Wheeler lines up the 3. Got it! Kiera Wheeler cuts the Maryland lead in half.
It's so nice when you work on something in shooting practice and your kids actually execute. They went over that this morning.
Michael fouled. She'll get 2 at the line.
And they went over the pick and pop earlier this morning because they knew that the defense was going to go with Diamond Johnson wherever she was and just going to leave Wheeler wide open for the 3-point shot.
Maryland's done a good job getting to the foul line in this third quarter where they are a perfect 5 for 5. 10 of 12 from the line on the night.
Well, they average 22 free throws a game, so they're well on their way.
Second in all of Division I in free throws made. Big part of their success this season. They are in the bonus the rest of the way. Wheeler rejected.
Well, Schmeichel did get much in that first half. It's here a concerted effort using that height, a big guard, the advantage there, getting it inside and get an opportunity for the N1. I think Maryland needs to use their height advantage more and be intentional about going to their guards.
Well, they've been effective in that department in this third quarter, and this is the largest lead of the game for either team. The Terps trailed by 2 at the half. A 19-9 third quarter, much needed for Norfolk State. Big time response there by the Spartans.
I just love how they respond every single time there's a run by Maryland.
Shot clock down to 10. Sellers. Stolen away. Fields. Norfolk State responding defensively, but Maryland wins it right back. Tennessee, the steal. Can't get the finish, though. And Diamond Johnson slows things down. 18 points for the senior. Johnson threw it away. 3-on-1 for Maryland. Tibiasu lays it in.
I know Coach Vickers will wait for the TV timeout, but if they don't score here and Maryland does, he might want to take it.
Clark contested 2. Somehow got it to go off the window. Norfolk State not backing down.
They just need to stay within striking distance, and they'll have an opportunity. That's all they need to do. That's what Coach Vickers wants for them. Just compete, and give yourself a chance.
Schmeichel, a three. Fouled again, shooting three. And we'll get 3 free throws when we come back.
Listen, Maryland making it their way, getting a 3-point shot, playing defense, and you got Dawsey playing a little bit of point guard here. An exchange with Tibiasu.
Any other use of this telecast or any picture descriptions or accounts of the game without the NCAA consent is prohibited.
Well, Maryland outscoring Norfolk State 21-13, partly because of Kubek here, inside out, driving to the basket, and then Norfolk State changed their defense a little bit and gave them the opportunity for outside shots. 2 for 2 from 3 for Tibiasu for Maryland. So Norfolk State struggling a little bit here to get some points on offense.
Yeah, the Spartans, who led by 2 at halftime, now in the danger zone. Maryland a 6-point lead. And Cheyenne Sellers, also a big part of this third quarter resurgence from Maryland. Kayleen Schmeichel as well. You know, one thing just as a team Maryland's done a great job of is getting Norfolk State to commit fouls. 6 fouls in this third quarter. The last one was very costly because it sends Schmeichel to the line to shoot 3 here. And Brenda Freese's team, a perfect 8 for 8 from the foul line, make it 9 for 9 in this third quarter.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. I talked with Coach Vickers about his players getting out on the 3-point shooters, and I think they've just overcorrected. And when you have these couple of fouls on the 3-point shooters,
largest lead of the game for either team after the 3 makes by Schmeichel. Richardson, tough drive for 2.
yeah, just did a great job there. She had the advantage on the perimeter driving around Schmeichel. She's been very aggressive driving to the basket. It's been good for Norfolk State today.
Well, Norfolk State, they've answered offensively, but they're struggling to get a stop right now. Kubek again there to clean up the spill. She's got 12.
She has been the player of the game for Maryland, especially on offense. She's kind of carried them and helped them keep that momentum or help them respond.
Johnson, pump fake. The floater doesn't fall. Long rebound out to Tibiasu. Good ball movement. Can't get the finish. That rolls off the rim, no good. And another foul called against Norfolk State. Their 7th foul committed in this third quarter. And Maryland will go back to the free throw line where they are 10 for 10 in this third quarter.
Yeah, Mir McLean here. I'm not sure why she went to the other side. She was wide open, but nonetheless, that is the 9th and 10th offensive rebounds for Maryland in this game. And that was one of the keys for Coach Vickers, was to keep them off the offensive boards, and they have not been able to do that today.
Mir McLean cashes it on the first. Great story written this week. Mir McLean and Sailor Poffenbarger started as roommates at UConn, then went their separate ways. McLean to Virginia. Poffenbarger spent 2 years at Arkansas. Now here they are reunited in their home state of Maryland, making a March Madness run.
Again, you see McLean on Diamond Johnson.
Norfolk State continues to, every time Maryland starts to separate, they answer.
Well, Jabria Clark, a great 3-point shooter, so you got to get out there on her. And that time she just toughed her way to the basket, would not be denied.
Battling in this third quarter as Maryland has gained momentum, started to separate. The and one is good from Clark. Cuts the Maryland lead to 8. The scoring has not been the problem in this third quarter for Norfolk State. It's getting stops. Maryland has scored 28 points in this third quarter after they only had 30 the entire first half.
Well, they've adjusted well to the adjustments that Norfolk State has made, and that's part of it. Now they go out to play the three-point shot in the wide open lane to the basket there by Smeichel.
A slow start for Smeichel. She's now got 13. Johnson draws the foul. She has been quiet in this third quarter. After 16 first half points, only 2 for Johnson in this third.
Well, I think she's just had to work so hard. She's had bigger players on her defensively, and so she's had to try to run them around off all these screens, and that could tire you out.
Inside, great take for 2, Kiera Wheeler.
You can see why it's so important to have her in the game and keep her out of foul trouble for Norfolk State.
Here's Sellers, puts it up through contact, no call. Defensive stops have been few and far between for Norfolk State, and a quick 3 in transition from Clark goes begging. Only 1 second separating the shot clock from the game clock at the end of this third quarter. Tibiasu recognizes it.
And you're going to see a screen on the ball here. Tibiasu makes good decisions when she comes off the screens usually.
5 seconds to shoot. Kubek off to Sellers, who has to heave it. And that's a shot clock violation. But this third quarter, make no mistake about it, belonged to Maryland. They went from down 2 at halftime to up 8. At 30 points in this third quarter matches the 30 points they scored the entire first half, the most points allowed in a quarter this season by Norfolk State. The offense has come alive for Brenda Freese's team. 8-point lead for the Terps. It is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Maryland controlling an 8-point lead as we start the fourth quarter. 13-seeded Norfolk State at a 2-point halftime lead. Green Bay gave everything Alabama could handle, but a strong second half surged the Crimson Tide into the second round. And let's check out how Alabama is moving on. Brought to you by United Airlines.
Leah Nye, 23 points. Crucial shots, the most important time for Alabama. So they snapped a 22-game win streak for Green Bay. Green Bay competed mightily, just didn't have enough.
Richardson splits 2, can't finish it. Both teams shot 8 of 15 in that third quarter, but Maryland separated themselves at the free throw line. The Terps are perfect, 12 for 12 in that third quarter. Kubek, that falls off the rim, no good.
Yeah, Norfolk State just couldn't stop fouling there. They responded every time offensively, but they fouled way too much.
And Maryland leading scorer, Kayleen Smeichel, had 10 points in that third quarter to really set the tone for the 4-seeded Terps. Norfolk State still within striking distance, though. Only an 8-point deficit. Kiera Wheeler to try and make it a 2-possession game, and she does.
Just a little bit of bully ball there. She would not be denied.
This has all the makings of a fun fourth quarter. March Madness is here. 13-seeded Norfolk State giving the home team Terps everything they can handle. Stolen away. The Spartans have it. Pushing it with Clark. Right to the rim for 2.
Yeah, Coach Freese taking a timeout right now. As you can see, just The lack of focus again there with the turnover. Norfolk State causing chaos once again.
TNT, TBS, and True TV. For more information, you can go to NCAA.com. There are not a lot of crazy upsets on the men's side this year. All 4 of the top seeds advanced through the first round. On the women's side, Norfolk State trying to be the first 13th seed to win in 4 years. They are giving Maryland everything they could handle. A 4-0 start to this fourth quarter. The Terps lead is down to 4.
Yeah, and I think Coach Freeze, that was a good timeout for her because it's a pattern. They cause chaos, Norfolk State, and they're able to close the gap and needed to call a set play here to make sure that they have an opportunity to score. So we'll see if it's for Schmeichel.
She's had the hot hand, 10 points in the third quarter after a quiet first half. Now they go to Kubek. She can't finish. Offensive rebound. Dulcie no good. And Norfolk State, their defense stands tall again. Well, the green and gold that made it into the arena made the 3.5-hour drive from campus getting louder and louder. It is not just a sea of red here in College Park. At 3, misfired.
Well, that's a good shot, though, by Norfolk State. Good execution, wide open shot, just didn't fall. That's what they have to keep doing here in this fourth quarter.
Kick out. Tibiasu, it's good! Sarah Tibiasu drills her 5th 3 of the game.
She loves those threes off the wing, especially on the left side.
A little breathing room for Maryland. Wheeler answers, count it, plus the foul. Kiera Wheeler not going quietly.
Yeah, just the ball was lost. You have to be at the right place at the right time. Able to score with contact.
After Tibiasu hit a career high 5th 3-pointer, you think, okay, is that the final punch to knock out the 13-seeded Spartans? Kiera Wheeler and Norfolk State has other ideas. It's a 5-point game.
Well, they have played great defense, with the exception of a little bit of fouling that put Maryland on the free throw line.
Schmeichel buries one of her own.
And she's come to play in this second half. She really didn't do a whole lot in that first half, but they are making a concerted effort to get her the basketball here in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter.
And she has delivered. Johnson can't answer that time. 8-point lead for Maryland. Tibiasu and Schmeichel, the 2 hot hands for Maryland. Fittingly number 1 and number 2. They've been quite the dynamic duo for the Terps in this second half. Foul call on the floor. That is the 3rd foul against Wheeler.
Yeah, if I'm Maryland, I just keep going straight at her, try to get her the 4th foul.
Schmeichel lines it up. And hits it again. Kayleen Schmeichel.
Got to get your hands up. Not enough to be out there. Got to get your hands up on a 3-point shooter.
Back-to-back threes for Schmeichel. Maryland up by 11. Schmeichel tangled up with Fields there. She is feeling it right now. Take another look at this 3 from the junior.
I think there's a little bit of extracurricular there that the officials are trying to sort out. So the foul gets called on Schmeichel. This might make Coach Freeze very happy.
Wheeler, tough take. Too much on it. Kubek the rebound.
That was a good call, though, because there was a mismatch there. And here's a mismatch with Wheeler guarding Sellers. Let's see how they take advantage of it.
Tipped out of bounds off Wheeler. It'll stay Maryland ball. Largest lead of the game for the Terps, 11, with 5:41 to play in this fourth quarter. Shot clock down to 5. Tibiasu, how about the handles? Kick out. Schmeichel at 3. That was a heat check. Missed it that time. And it's Norfolk State basketball.
Norfolk State's got to be efficient here. You got to find a way to get Diamond Johnson the ball so she can score.
Stolen away off the inbound. Tibiasu at 3. It's good.
Now that is a confident shooter. No rebounders anywhere. I'm still going to take this shot because I know I can make it.
It's a 9-0 run for Maryland. Tibiasu's got 20. And the Terps rolling in this fourth quarter. Tibiasu came over after being the A-10 Player of the Year at VCU, and head coach Brenda Free said, look, it took a little while for her to adjust to the Power 4 level and what we do here at Maryland, but man, she is playing her best basketball when it matters most here in March.
Yeah, just had to get used to the size and the speed at this level, and also dealt with a little bit of injury, but is put in the work and just been a welcome addition to this Maryland squad.
Norfolk State had a 2-point lead at halftime. Into the second half, Maryland outscoring the Spartans 42-26.
And now if you're Norfolk State, you just got to get a basket anywhere you can.
Right on cue. Wheeler gets it plus the foul. And one coming.
Yeah, Wheeler's just bound and determined to get to the basket and overpowers Sellers there and gets the opportunity for the N1.
Converts and brings Norfolk State back within 11.
Now Maryland has to take care of the ball against this full court pressure because it's coming. The double teams are coming.
Tibiasu.
They're keeping Maryland on the perimeter. How do they get to the middle of the free throw line?
Stolen away. Clark draws the foul, and we'll get 2 at the line.
Yeah, that zone is keeping Maryland way out past the three-point line. They've got to be patient and penetrate that middle. And Norfolk State just doing a good job of staying in the passing lanes, pushing them way out. Tibiasu pointing to herself.
Well, Maryland had 12 first-half turnovers. That is really what plagued them. They had done such a better job in the second half. That was only their 4th turnover. But if Norfolk State can crank up the pressure here in the final 4 minutes and 31 seconds and force some more turnovers, that could be the recipe for what would be a Herculean comeback.
Well, this press is going to slow them down, and then once they get to their zone in the half court, they keep them on the perimeter to take some more time off the clock. Maryland's got to do a better job of getting to that red painted area.
Swiped away, after what was some good ball movement in the lead-up. Maryland, such a tough team to come back on, in large part how good they are from the foul line. Sellers doing her thing. Cheyenne Sellers for 2.
Oh, Richardson getting down the floor fast.
Wheeler cleans up the spill and draws the foul.
Yeah, Sellers last time got them with the ball out of bounds, but you always got to look for the inbounder. If not for the first pass back, they're going to go to the other side. Nice little Euro step to get between the defenders there. Ten-point game, still plenty of time for Norfolk State.
Little more than 4 minutes remaining. Wheeler knocks them both down. And the Spartans stay with their pressure. Sellers, such a great ball handler at 6'2". What a weapon to close out games. And Maryland 17 of 19 from the foul line. Double teams, Michael in trouble. And a foul called.
That's a timeout.
But a timeout first. Now the officials are discussing, was it a foul first or a timeout first?
Well, she was over there yelling at the official to get a timeout before the whistle, before the foul occurred. So bad spot to go to in the corner. You get trapped. So there was the foul. But the timeout, I think, was called before that.
That's ultimately what the officials decide.
So if you're Maryland, you know you can't go to that corner because there's going to be pressure coming. The double teams are going to be coming. You've got to penetrate the middle of that zone.
Seconds on the shot clock. Let's see what Maryland drew up after Brenda Freeze called the timeout.
You have the height advantage, so there's going to be a mismatch on that back line. You just have to get your player there and take advantage of it.
Michael, pull up pop, missed it. Battle for the rebound to Sellers. Can't connect. 2 good looks, but Norfolk State survives. Can they cash in? A quick 3. Went begging for Diamond Johnson. Another long rebound keeps it alive. Richardson. She can't cash in.
Oh, they can't buy a basket.
Got some good looks there. Couldn't cut into this 9-point deficit. And Johnson, a frustration foul. That is her 4th. Frustrating second half for Diamond Johnson after 16 first half points, only 2 in this second half.
I think Maryland just did a really good job of just switching players, bigger players on her. You had Mira McLean, you had Sellers on her a couple of times, you had Schmeichel on her, and she just had to work so hard to even try to get open. It really made it tough for her.
3 minutes remaining in regulation. Maryland, a 9-point advantage. They have been in control in this second half. Can they see it to the finish line? Tibiasu, 6 made threes to her name. Drives in this time, the floater does not fall. Wheeler had the rebound. It went off Maryland, so it'll be Norfolk State ball. The Spartans clinging to life here. They need to execute on the offensive end here.
Yeah, need to execute fairly quickly and crash the boards like they did on that last possession.
They've missed their last 4 shots Only 1 for their last 7. They've gone cold at the wrong time. Still 2 timeouts remaining for both teams. Final 2 minutes and 30 seconds here in College Park. Wheeler sticks it. Big time make, Kiera Wheeler. She's got 20. Maryland lead down to 7.
Using up an awful lot of time, but not much progress.
Schmeichel pull-up pop, draws the foul. It will get 2 big free throws where Maryland has been excellent. 17 of 19 from the line and a perfect 12 for 12 in this second half.
Schmeichel doing an excellent job here in the second half. I don't believe she scored in that first half. It's pretty non-existent, and already here in the second half, she's got 20 points.
Her 33rd 20-plus point game of her career. Got them both at the line. The lead is 9. Norfolk State running out of time.
Well, you gotta go.
Wheeler, a 3. Missed it. Maryland content to kill this clock, leading by 9. We tick under a minute 30 to play. Sellers draws the foul. And we'll get 2 at the line. And if a game turns into a free throw contest, Maryland does it better than nearly everybody in the country. Second in the nation in free throws per game. 19 of 21 and a perfect 15 for 15 in this second half. And Cheyenne Sellers is who you want at the line. Throughout her terrific career in a Maryland uniform, she is 82.5% from the free throw line. That is second all time, only behind Christy Tolliver.
She's a pretty decent player back in her day.
Responsible for the 2006 National Championship banner hanging here at the Xfinity Center. And Maryland closing in a minute and 8 seconds away from advancing to the second round, where they will meet Alabama.
Well, we'll say
Alabama and Maryland were tested in this first round by Green Bay.
Green Bay played, I thought, an excellent game, played hard, very competitive.
And
just didn't have enough at the end. Norfolk State, and we talked offline. I told you I thought they would give them a great game. And for Maryland, they're going to have a better start against Alabama on Monday. If they don't, it'll be a completely different result.
That'll be a terrific matchup here in Regional 2 Birmingham in the round of 32. Maryland and Alabama. This Terps team trailed by 2 at halftime. An inspired second half surge. They only scored 30 points in the first half. They have 50 in the second half.
Just took a little bit better care of the basketball, executed better. I just thought in the first half they didn't really have the focus that they needed to separate themselves.
Clark the drive for 2. But Norfolk State running out of time. Maryland has dealt very well with the defensive pressure in the late stages of this game. They valued the basketball. knocked down their free throws, and they have been in control. 5 seconds to shoot. Off the window and in. Ali Kubek. She's been brilliant. 16 points to her name. Diamond Johnson cooled off in this second half. After 16 points in the first half, only 2 in the second. And that allowed Maryland to really surge in this second half. The Terps are headed back to the round of 32. 52 points in this second half to ultimately win it comfortably. So Brenda Fries of the Maryland Terrapins moving on to the second round, where they meet up with Alabama. What a matchup that will be on Monday. Tomorrow on ABC, don't forget South Carolina and Indiana. For Helen Williams, our terrific crew, I'm Jay Alter saying so long from College Park. Let's get you to the studio, presented by AT&T.